Ready? Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We are going to be talking about how podcasting is so powerful and can truly boost your business and change lives. We have our friend Payman Lorenzo. He has been my coach for podcast, and he has helped me find my voice and find more confidence within myself. And I am here very happy to introduce him. So, how are you, Payman?
Thank you very much, Jaime. Thank you, brother, for this beautiful introduction. It's been an honor connecting with you and helping you. Just like I love when you said that not only found your voice, but open your throat chakra. That's probably the greatest, compliment I've one of the greatest I've received in a long time. So I'm super happy to see that. Super happy to see your transformation and see can't wait to see how this is going to take you to the heights that you're meant to be, because I know you have a powerful story. I was blessed to have you on my podcast share your story last week. It's not live yet because I am a few episodes behind, but it should go live in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. So once that live, highly recommend everyone to listen to Jaime's story, because it's such a powerful story of overcoming things, and especially how he was able to manifest things in his own life. And this is now what he's doing. So wonderful story, powerful, very inspiring. So I love what you're doing, brother. I'm super happy. Thank you for inviting me here to talk to you and to your community about podcasting, how podcasting changed my life and blessed it in many ways. And yeah, so I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the honor, brother.
Oh, I am so happy to be able to do this because all my for a long time I've been wanting to be able to express myself and my voice and become visible, and I have not done that. And taking your class and podcast helped me, like you say, find open up my throat chakra and find my voice and more confidence to be able to do this today. So I'm actually very excited to have you here. So one of the things is that I would like you to tell us how can podcasts boost business and help people find their voice.
Yes, this is what we're going to cover today, and I'm going to be doing a presentation for you and your community. So let me start first sharing my screen. So, all right. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
All right. So, all right. So my name is Payman Lorenzo. For those going to be watching this after that, I'm going to be talking, sharing my story, how podcasting has changed my life and it can change yours too. A little bit about me. I'm a heart-centered entrepreneur. I'm a nomad. I lived in 10 countries, 4 continents, 6 languages, and every the, everything. So everything, ever since I was a kid, the one thing I really loved to do was to help people, especially those who had nothing to give or anything, just helping the most underprivileged people. I'm also a connector. I love bringing people together. When I was living in Asia, I was hosting events and bringing people together. And I'm the biggest cheerleader you will find, because I love empowering and inspiring people to go after the dreams. And this is what I love doing. And I'm the host and founder of a podcast called Leaders with a Heart. I started in October of 2020. And since then, over the past, what, 13, 14, 15 months since then, it's been one of the greatest blessings of my life. I've been able to reach 100 episodes within a year. Now I'm at 136, closing soon on 140. I'm beyond blessed. And this podcast has been one of the best thing I've ever done. That's what I'm going to be covering in this talk, and it's changed my life and will change your life as well, as you will see. So let me change that. So first of all, my vision. You know, I'm a strong believer that as entrepreneurs, it's our duty and responsibility to do good. Not only because doing good is the right thing to do as a human being, but also doing good is very good for business. People love doing business with businesses and people that care. And this is what the message, one of the main premises of my podcast, to inspire other entrepreneurs to do good with their businesses. So this is my vision, and my mission to podcasting is to empower heart centered entrepreneurs to launch their podcast, find their voice in order to become the expert, the leader, and authority in their field. So, this is in order to have the greatest positive impact possible. So, this is what we're going to explore in this presentation. So, first of all, how has podcasting changed my life? First of all, it's allowed me to connect with incredible, heart centered, world class experts with beautiful hearts from around the world, every category, every niche. I've had obviously doctors, CEOs, lawyers, professional actors, healers, speakers, authors, professional coaches, professional sports coaches. I just had a podcast this morning with a wonderful man. He was a professional basketball coach at college level for 20 years. He worked with some of the greatest coaches in the game in the NBA, and he has quite a few of his players that ended up playing in the NBA. So absolutely phenomenal. I've had Olympians. I've had people that received awards for their documentaries, movies, and all that. And our good common friends, Lisanne. She's actually you can see her at in her show, not a show, but she appears. She plays a dominant role in a series on Netflix. I believe it's Manifest. So again, it's been an absolute beyond blessing because it's connected me with incredible, wonderful people from around the world. And this is how also we connected, Jaime. And yeah, so it's and the people I get on my podcast, they're not just guests. With quite a lot of them, we become friends. We catch up, just like me and you, Jaime. We just whenever we just hey, how's family, how's everything. It doesn't feel like you're a client or you're just a guest. It's I honestly believe and I feel that this is a beautiful friendship. Not only just me and you, but every person. I would say 95% of the people I've had on my podcast, this is how we feel because, again, we all heart centered, we're all on the same page, and we got a beautiful connection. I also opened my eyes to so many interesting fields I had no idea even existed. For example, muscle tuning or even Reiki or things like that. I had no idea that if those even existed. But because of the podcast, I keep learning about areas that for me I didn't even know about, and also allows me to learn more about areas that I had a little bit of idea but I wasn't sure. But now it really expanded, not only expanded my knowledge, but also allowed me to have world class experts. It's almost like on a daily basis when I'm talking with these people is having like my own private and not only just MBA but PhD with actual experts from around the world. And this for me it's amazing because it's part of my ongoing education. And of course through that so many incredible connections, wonderful 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 opportunities opening up in front of me. um you know but the in a lot of ways I would say podcasting has also allowed me to save my life because we live in a small town outside of Toronto, Canada, and for the past couple of years being in a lockdown, half the year being frozen. If it wasn't for the podcast, it would have been very easy for me to jump from the window. But the podcast allowed me to keep my sanity because I'm doing something I enjoy, I love, talking and connecting with incredible people. However, the most beautiful, the most impactful blessing podcasting has allowed me to bless my life with has been to find my voice. Because briefly my story, as I said, I'm a nomad. I lived in many countries. I've been involved in all kinds of businesses for the past 20 plus years. But I was always, while it was fun, I was always, moving from one business to another, always jumping and all that, and chasing my tail and all that, and being distracted by the latest shiny object. With podcasting, I found my voice, I found my passion, my purpose, and I've dropped everything else. Now I'm going all in with podcasting. And finding my voice, my purpose, my passion has been, for me, the greatest blessing, the greatest gift podcasting has blessed my life with. And yeah, and of course, podcasting is very fun because I just love and enjoy having this wonderful conversation with heart centered people, world class experts on a daily basis. Now, oops. All right. So, who is podcasting for? So, basically, any business. This is one of the beautiful thing about podcasting that it applies and can benefit any business, whether you're online, offline, whether you're a service provider, say like a realtor, insurance broker, doctor, dentist, accountant, or online, such as say a coach, a writer, a speaker, e-commerce, whatever. This applies to any business because why? Because each client, each customer, each person, each deal, each trade, each product, each launch, each course, that's a story worth sharing and telling. And that's a person, and each person is a story. So because what is business? Business is about stories. It's about people. It's not about numbers game. It's about nurturing relationship, nurturing process, and it's all done through stories. So this is why podcasting can truly benefit And I will share with you later on in this presentation some examples of businesses and incredible niches that you would never expect podcasting to be to be beneficial for them, but they've used it to tremendous benefit. Now, podcasting also will help you regardless of what stage you are in your business, whether you're just starting out, so it can allow you to get the word out, or already an established business to help you spread your message even faster. So so that's why podcasting can be so powerful for any business. And also podcasting can really benefit you just as it has benefited me at both personally and your business. And we're going to talk about that. Especially personally, I really love those benefits because they have allowed me to grow as a person so much more. For example, be, per, let's take a look at how podcasting can benefit you personally. It can allow you to share your story and document your journey, to allow you to um, to make great friendships around the world, just like I have done. You know, each person you connect with on a podcast can become a great friend. And also through a podcast, you get access to people you would not be able to. For example, let's say you want to connect with a CEO or an expert in your niche. If you were just to call them, say, "Hey, John, hey, Mary, I'd love to get on a call with you to pick up your brains." They will tell you, go take a hike. But if you tell them, "Hey, Mary, hey, John, I'm the host of such a podcast. I would love for you to come share your story," then all of a sudden they would be much more receptive to it. They will say absolutely. They will not just say yes. They will say, "Okay, when can we do that?" So this is why you would get access to people that normally you would not be able to. And also, you will learn so much about yourself because podcasting is about a journey of growth. For me, before starting podcasting, I was very shy. I wasn't the best communicator. And that has allowed me to, to learn about myself, to overcome my shyness, fear of public speaking, allow me to improve my communication and listening skills and all that. So that as a person, you will benefit that not only in your personal life, but also in business and whatever you do. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what type of business, profession you are in, we're all in the same business. We're on a people business. And that's how it's really allowed me to really grow as a person. And also having after having spoken for the past year with over one almost 140 amazing people, leader with a heart, and hearing the tremendous stories, powerful stories, very inspiring journeys, and all that. It makes you so much more interesting person to talk to because you have so many more, stories and experiences to draw from. So a lot of time when I talk to people around me, or even when I'm invited on the podcast to speak to people, a lot of time I share stories from the podcast, the people I've had on the pod. Oh, that reminded me of this person. This is how this person did this, and so on and so forth. So it's been absolute blessing. And also because once you get to talk on the podcast with someone, with your ideal clients, ideal customers, it's going to allow you to connect at a much deeper level that you would not be able to do in any other way or any other medium. Because on a podcast you really can, you have the attention of a person in ways that you cannot even come close to in any other medium. And if you put all of that together, it will make you become a more powerful and charismatic speaker and leader. Because again, you will become a better speaker, more outgoing, better listening skills, much more interesting, being able to deeper connect and relate with the people, and all of that are the key ingredients of a powerful and charismatic speaker and leader. So this is how podcasting can tremendously benefit you on a personal level. Even if you don't use podcasting for your business, from a personal standpoint, podcasting can really help you grow as a person. But also, and that is a key for me, podcasting is very fun. It's very enjoyable because, I mean, for me, especially when you're stuck at home and in the middle of nowhere, even if you're in a city, there's nothing more for me is one of the most enjoyable things to do is to hop on a podcast call and get someone to share the stories, get to know them, get to connect and all that, and have a heart to heart conversation through the podcast. And the most important benefit of all, on a personal level, I can attest to that. Jaime can attest to that, is that it helps us find our voice, help me find my voice, my passion, my purpose. And just like Jaime beautifully mentioned it, not only helped him find his voice, but to open his throat chakra. That's something he was struggling for a long time. He can share his stories after about that. But that for me was probably the most rewarding, the most touching, the most beautiful, thing I've heard in a long time. And really, made me emotional because wow, because what is business? Business is not just about a transaction. Here's your product or service. Thank you very much. A business is about transformation. When you see the transformation in someone's life going from where they are to where they want to go, then oh my God, I'm actually making a difference and impact. And when you do that, it further encourages you to keep going because you're seeing, people changing their lives. So for me, finding your voice and helping other hearts and entrepreneurs find their voice is one of the most beautiful things that I can do, and I'm so happy and blessed that God put me in a position to do so. So again, finding your voice, your passion, purpose is probably one of the greatest blessings that podcasting has allowed me, allowed Jaime, and will allow you as well to do so. Now, let's take a look at how podcasting can benefit your business. Of course, most of you watching this will be business people, whether offline, online. You're looking to get more exposure, more visibility, and this is where podcasting will come in very beautifully because podcasting will allow you, through sharing your story, to attract and connect with your exact ideal listeners and clients. It's going to allow your audience, to get to know you because, as I said earlier, doesn't matter what type of business you're in, whether you're a coach, a realtor, a lawyer, a speaker, whatever you are, we're all in the same business. We are in a people's business. And people love doing business with people they can connect, they get to know, and they can relate and trust. And this is what the podcast will allow you to do. The podcast will also allow you to build a very intimate connection with your audience. So, for example, let's say you're driving ad, or even, for example, whatever other medium or form of advertising you're doing. It's not very personal. But when someone's listening to your podcast, you can have a very intimate connection because it's usually you and them and their earpods. No distraction. You will have their complete undivided attention for the duration of your podcast, whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours. During that moment, you will get an incredible level of intimacy and connection with your audience that no other medium will allow you. For example, if you play the TV or the radio, usually it's loud and there's so many distractions around you. But the podcast is just you and that person in your head, literally. So that's why you can have a very intimate connection with the audience. And also, you you some of your very best clients will be your listeners because of what I just said earlier. Because your audience will get to know you, get to hear your story, get to have a connection with you as a human being, and as a result of that, they will feel a trust in you that without the podcast they will not have. And that's why, from everyone I talk to as a podcast, they will say, hands down, their best clients and some of the clients that will pay the most money will be your podcast listeners because they have connection with you. And also, of course, podcasting is an amazing, not only lead generation machine, but also a lead education to educate your audience about you being an expert, about being an authority in your field. So, in that way, podcasting is a tremendous vehicle. And also, you can leverage your podcast for endless content, for, say, for example, for blog posts, for your social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatever other media your audience hangs out at. And also, we'll show you how to even turn the content from your podcast into books. Yes, books. I'll go to that in a moment, and that's one of the most exciting part of a podcast. Now, the podcast also, and that's one of the key aspect of podcasting, it allows you to elevate and position yourself as the expert, the leader, and authority in your field. After being around the world for the past few years, a couple of decades now almost, in real estate, there's a catchy line that says location, location, location. In business, I found something similar, which is, and I call it the rules of the 3Ds: differentiation, 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 meaning what me and you can do to elevate ourselves, to set ourselves apart from being just another coach, another realtor, another accountant, another whatever you are, to being the expert, the authority, the leader. And the podcast is one of the ways to do so. Because again, once you keep, releasing episodes on the topic of your expertise, that's going to automatically, by default, display your knowledge, your expertise, and all that. And another wonderful benefit of podcasting is it's tremendous networking platform. Podcasting has become now the new golfing. Before in the past, you would say, okay, let's hang out at the clubhouse or the golf course. Now say, come on my podcast. Let's have a chat. That's a great way to meet and network with incredible people in your business, in your area, whatever. And also, podcasting for a business can be a fantastic launching pad for much bigger things. Getting invited into bigger podcasts. Now I'm getting approached by people to get my podcast, getting onto radio stations, TV, paid speaking engagements, and eventually books, and so on and so forth. So podcasting is the start of a tremendous, it's a launching pad for your business. And also, last but definitely not least, especially if you're selling any high ticket program, podcasting will help you reduce the sales cycle of whatever you're selling. So let's say you're selling a $5,000 package, you're driving in traffic. It's going to be tough for you to convert that into a sale. It's going to take you anywhere between 1 month to 6 months to a year in order to do so. But with podcasting, especially with your listeners, through your podcast, they get to know you, to learn about you, to connect with you, and as a result of that, they will feel much more compelled to do business with you much faster, much sooner, and that's why it's going to allow you to drastically reduce the sales cycle of whatever you're selling. Now, with podcasting, because you're going to be building a beautiful connection with your audience, allowing them to get to know you when the time comes for them to do business with you. You will not have to pitch. You will not have to convince, seduce, or kidnap them. It's going to be a natural progression because they've been listening to your show, to your podcast for say a month, 2 months. They get to hear about you, hear about your success stories, listen to your testimonials and all that, and then they will say, "Oh my God, this is exactly what I need. Let me reach out to that person. Hey, Jaime, I love what you're doing. Let's jump on a call and see how you can help me." Because they've listened to you. Same thing, for example, Deb. I don't know what you do for your business, but they can also, after they've listened to your podcast for 3, 4 weeks, they get a really good idea about you. And then for them after that is going to be a natural progression to do business with you. And when they do, you won't have to chase them, as I said, they will reach out to you. And that's one of the most powerful benefits of podcasting. And as I mentioned earlier, because of all of what I just talked about, you will be attracting not only ideal clients, but a much higher caliber of clients. Because speaking of my experience, because I only bring in heart centered entrepreneurs on my podcast, the people that I attract also to be clients and all that, they're also heart centered clients. And because of that, we're all on the same page, we're on the same line. So it becomes a joy to work with them. And also, here's a powerful quote I saw not long ago from one of the smartest marketers out there, and one of my favorite marketers, Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels. He said, average on average, music and radio listeners make on average about $60,000 a year, while podcast listeners make $100,000 a year. Why is that? Is that because the people that listen to podcasts are more open to self-development, to improving, and they're much more able and willing to invest in coaching programs and in your program because that's what they want. They understand the need to always, improving, to learning, and even hiring a coach. So that's why they will be not only some of your best clients, but they will be some of the one that will pay the most money for you. So this is why podcasting can tremendously help you in your business. Now, let me briefly share with you some of the opportunities as a result of podcasting. As I said, it's going to elevate you as the expert, the leader, the authority. Let's say you're an accountant or a realtor or a insurance broker, or even if you're a coach, MLM, whatever you are. The podcast is going to allow you to go from being just another, whatever you're doing, to being the expert, the authority, the leader. Because people, as you keep on, releasing episode after episode of either you're talking about your giving advice on your field of expertise, or you interviewing other experts in your area, then people will automatically you know see you as an expert in the field. And that can be an amazing launching pad for, as I said, getting invited on other podcasts, bigger podcasts, radio, TVs, joint ventures, paid speaking engagements, and so on and so forth. and also providing you with endless, beautiful, repurposable content for you on social media and eventually to turn them into books. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Speaking of that, this is probably one of my favorite benefits of a podcast. We all want to write a book because nothing screams expert more than having your own book. So imagine next time you meet someone and they say, "Hey, Jaime, hey Deb, can I have your business card?" You say, "Sorry, I don't have a business card, but here's my book." Now imagine their expression, their reaction. They will be blown away. They will see you automatically as a leader, as an expert, and so this is one of the greatest way to do so. But however, writing a book is not easy because it can take a lot of time and can be daunting because what do I write about? Even though you know what you want to write about, but actually sitting down in front of a computer and a blank screen, it's very daunting. However, one of the fastest, best, and most effective ways to finally publish your first or next book is through your podcast. Let me show you how. So I'm an active guy. This summer I was biking one day on a beautiful summer day, and I was listening to a podcast, and this guy came and talked about the tremendous powers of podcasting. He said a 200-page book is about, roughly speaking, 60,000 words. Now, a 30-minute podcast episode is about 6,000 words. So once you have 10 30-minute podcast episodes, technically you have enough content for a book. So meaning that once you start your podcast, as long as you release just one episode a week, one 30-minute episode a week within 3 months, mathematically speaking, logically speaking, you will have enough content for a book. There's no ifs and buts. As long as you stick to one episode a week, then within 3 months, you will have enough content for your first or your next book. And once you have your podcast set up, you can technically, if you want to go aggressive and all in, you can be launching a new book every 3 months. Now imagine what kind of impact, positive impact this will have in your business. Not only being a published author, but a multiple published author, multiple books. Now that's going to automatically elevate you to dominate and corner your market, what your niche, whatever you're doing. So as far as I'm concerned, after having spoken with over 100, almost close to 140 uh, incredible experts around the world, now we have enough content for 13 to 14 books. And that's one of my goals for this year, by the summer, to have my first book. And I can't wait for that. Now, how about you? Would you like to publish your first or next book without any effort in the next 3 to 6 months? As best way, the fastest way is through your podcast. So are you guys excited now to launch your podcast? And let me show you now. It's a lot easier than you might think or you might believe. However, before I start, let me warn you, podcasting is a long-term investment. It does require a commitment. It requires consistency, at least one episode a week. And just like a tree, just like a baby, you have to continuously feed it for at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before you see the tremendous, you reap the rewards. And the more consistent, the longer you keep at it, the more your podcast will benefit your business. I've been podcasting for a year, just over a year, and I'm already seeing tremendous, benefits from it. And I can't wait to see what kind of opportunities I will have, after year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So I'm super excited. And I'm sure for Jaime, for you're also very excited because you have a powerful message and the podcasting will really, really, really take you to the next level. Now, the good news is podcasting is booming. In the US alone, we're expected to have the audience growth rate of podcasting to double. To not only to double, but it's going up, up, up. Podcasting is booming. Everybody wants to be in the podcasting scene because people are more and more understanding the tremendous power of podcasting for the reasons I mentioned earlier. However, starting your own podcast doesn't have to be time consuming, confusing, hard, or expensive. So on my podcast, when I ask people, do you have your own podcast? About 80 to 85% of them say no. When I ask them why, two main reasons. One, I don't have the time, and I'm not a techie. So now what if, and I asked them, what if there was a way for you to launch a podcast without being a techie, without spending a lot of time and without spending a fortune on that? Would that be of interest to you? I got a resounding hell yes from 100% of them. And this is what I at first I didn't want to do that, but because people asked me at first, they were asking me, "Hey, can you teach me how to start my podcast?" And I would tell them, "Okay, go read this book, go watch this video." But then people would tell me, "No, we want you to teach us." And then I let the idea, germinate in my mind for a few weeks, and I said, "Okay, you know what? Let me do that." So, sorry. So last month I did a soft launch for a small group, a 3 week challenge called Launch Your Podcast, the 3 week challenge to launch your podcast. And Jaime was one of them. It went really well. We had a beautiful group, and I'm going to talk to you briefly about that program. So the way I structure it is it's going to be like a college program, like a curriculum, like very hands on. 3 weeks. Each week we have a specific theme, topic, and we're gonna dive deep into each week. So, which step one, week one is foundations, week two is tech, and week three launching. So, let's have a quick look into all of them. What is foundations? Basically, is brainstorming together. Why do you want to start a podcast? What is the message you're trying to convey through your podcast? Or you're trying to serve? Who's your ideal client? Choosing the right name and type for your podcast, deciding the length and the format. So, would it be best for you to go solo and just you talking and sharing tips on your podcast, you interviewing people, having a co host, having a round table, and so on and so forth? We brainstorm on that. We brainstorm on the best length. Should it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours? We brainstorm on all of that. We also work together, brainstorm on the art cover for your podcast, which is very important because that's the first thing people see. And then brainstorm together on how to get not just any guests for the sake of numbers, but the exact type of ideal listeners and clients, high quality clients and guests, sorry, for your podcast that could eventually become clients. And we map together your first 10, 20, 30 episode of your podcast. So this is foundations. For example, let me quickly show you a couple of artwork. One on the left, you have mine for my podcast, and the right for one of my favorite podcasts, Tech Funnel Radio. Week two, it's about tech. So for tech, I partnered, and this is one of the great thing. I'm really happy with the podcast with world class experts in key areas of podcasting, business, and marketing, and all that. So for week two, I partnered with a professional podcasting agency in Australia. So even though I can do that myself, but I want to have actual world class experts or this is what they do on a day to day basis to come answer any and all tech questions. And they did that in the first group. They were very kind and generous with their time, and they were there to answer any questions, which was awesome. We all loved it. And during that week too, we talked about anything to do with with tech. Now, what we cover in week two, tech week, is for example, what type of microphone and headphones, what type of accessories should you use to get started. For example, the mic I'm using is the one I see used right now here, is a Samsung Q2U, and I got that on Amazon in 2020. And knock on wood, it's been 2 years. It's still doing beautifully up to now. It's the best $83 Canadian, about $60, $65 US that I spent. And yeah, it can be very simple. So we talk about all of that, choosing the various accessories that you need, and also talk about what kind of softwares and tools you need for your podcast. So we cover all of that during week two. Some of them I cover, most of them it's going to be covered by the experts, the podcasting agency that I partner with, in order to bring you the highest value within the program. And then we also cover how to do recording and recording your first episode. So we ensure that all the equipment are properly connected and plugged in. We ensure that all your softwares and tools are properly connected and working. Test drive everything before going live and recording. Make sure you're in a quiet environment. Have an outline for your podcast. Have a list of questions, but it's best to keep your podcast as organic and flowing as possible in order to keep it like an organic conversation. Also, because you want to be speaking not through a script, but through your heart, from your heart, because these are the best type of conversation you can have. Also, we covered during week two anything to do with editing and uploading. basically talking about how to take the raw audio and video file and cleaning it up to make it more professional. We show you which softwares programs to use for both Mac or Windows. For Mac, for example, you can use both either of GarageBand or Audacity. For Windows, you can use Audacity, both of them which are free. They're not very difficult, but they do have a learning curve and can be time consuming. And yeah, and we talk about having a good pair of headphones to clear here all the little noises for the editing part. We talk about adding the show notes, episode summaries, timestamps, transcriptions, and contact info for the guest for each episode to really polish your episode to make them more professionals. And yeah, as I mentioned, editing is not hard, but there is a learning curve. And so it can be time consuming. So you can either do it yourself, or you can hire a freelancer, or you can hire an agency. And this is what we cover into during week 2. And also hosting your podcast. So once you've done all of that, or if you created your content, where do you host them online? Because you need to have a host. So hosting is basically where your podcast files, your audio files will be hosted, will be located, the home, so to speak, of your podcast. So we talk about that, the various options. We talk about how to some of the recommendation. I share which one I use, which is Podbean, because it's easiest to use. They have unlimited bandwidth and storage for your files, and it's a low monthly fee, about $10-15 a month. So we talk about that, and also how to, once you have your hosting platform, how to propagate and share your episodes into all the other major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and so on and so forth. So this is what we do for week 2. So yeah, we just covered that. So yeah, one thing to keep in mind is once you need to apply to each of these platforms like Google, iTunes, Apple, Spotify, and so on and so forth. You just go on the website, follow the instructions. Some of them you can be approved within minutes, but some of them, be aware that it can take a week or two, depending on a lot of things. So if you don't get approved within 10 minutes, don't freak out. It's normal. It can happen. So just keep that in mind. And then week 3, that's one of my favorite things. I partnered with an incredible leader that connected on my podcast, Angel. She did a wonderful speech on how to get into the media, the power of press releases, and all that. So that not only by the time you finish this program, you have your podcast launched, but also you have listeners from day one with reviews, because that's all about. So this is what we cover as well on week 3. We also cover of before going live, to have at least at the minimum 5 to 10 episodes, because when people are looking for new podcasts to explore and discover, they want to bunch, listen, or watch at least a couple or 2 or 3 to get a hang for the podcast, to get to know a little bit about the personality of the host. If they like it, they will keep on listening. So that's why you want to give them an opportunity to binge watch, binge listen to your episodes. So have at least at the very minimum 5 episodes, ideally 10. So so yeah, this is what we recommend before you go live. And we also cover about talk about the you need to do a social media campaign to promote your podcast launch, going on other podcasts to promote your podcast and all that, as well as contacting your friends and family and letting them know about your upcoming launch. Because believe it or not, old school still works. And yeah, we talk about also approaches and tactics to further promote your podcast past after you launch your podcast, because launching the podcast is a great goal, but the real adventure, the real journey starts after you launch your podcast. And this is what we share with you. The best ways to do so is having your own website for your podcast, so you can start collecting emails to build a list, because the money is in the email list. And once you have an email list, you have an actual asset that you control, that is yours. And with that email list, you can do cross promotions, joint ventures with other audiences, and so on and so forth. And you can also use the tremendous power of press releases. Now, let me share with you now a quick example of a brand, little startup company that blew up to $1 billion business using just the power of podcasting. ClickFunnels. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. And one of the ways they did that is through ClickFunnels radios, where they just invited the people using the podcast from every niche, every background, every field, industry, share the stories, success stories of how they've been able to use ClickFunnels, their software, to tremendously benefit their business through a grassroots movement. Into doing so, they were able to go from zero to $1 billion business within a few short years. Now, let's take a look at some of the incredible array of businesses that can benefit from podcasting. Because one of the things I hear is that, oh, my business wouldn't benefit from a podcasting, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Because let's take a look at the list here on the screen. On the very top left, you have a funeral home. So there was this funeral home in, I believe, in the state of Michigan. You know, when someone passes away, you can offer the families to just write a couple of notes. You know, but this funeral home started offering an option for friends and families to come and share stories, anecdotes about the person, and all of a sudden people love that, and they really blew up within a few months to becoming, from being just another funeral home in the state of Michigan to being the number one funeral home in the state of Michigan, one of the top rated in the entire United States. So again, if a funeral home can benefit from a podcast, then there's no reason why your business or my business would not benefit from it. And as you can see here, there's podcasts in every niche category, industry, profession you can imagine: a preschool teacher, accountant, nurse, realtor, attorney, the Appy Attorney podcast, the holistic nutritionist podcast, the confidence speaker, so on and so forth, and my good friend Jaime as a podcast on lucid dreaming, so and so on and so forth. So you can have a podcast on pretty much anything, any business, because as I mentioned at the beginning, every client, every deal, every person, every launch, every event, that's a story. That's a person that needs to be shared, needs to be told. So this is why podcasting can definitely benefit any business out there. Now, so yeah, this has showed you how to start a podcast in 3 steps. Now, are you guys excited about starting a podcast? Let me share with you now that starting a podcast doesn't have to be time consuming, confusing, or hard or expensive. In fact, it can be done in as little as 21 days, 3 weeks from today, without spending a ton of time or money and without being a techie. So let me quickly share with you about that. So now that you've heard all of that, you have two options. You can either think this is cool, but it's not for me, my business, and do nothing and go back to what you were doing before to get visibility, to get clients, to get more exposure. Or you can do something and ask yourself a powerful question, because questions can be tremendously powerful. And you can ask yourself, how can I get into podcasting? What's the easiest way to do so than by sharing your story and showcasing the stories of your clients, your and so on and so forth. And there's no better way than doing that through interviews on your own podcast. And just like as I've been talking on this presentation, podcasting has changed my life and it can change yours too. So let's have a look here. So introducing the 3-week launch a podcast challenge. It's a program I launched last month. It was very fun, loved it, enjoyed it. And it's a step-by-step blueprint that will take you by the end, so to speak, from A to Z, or A to Z here in Canada and Australia and the UK, and have your podcast launch and have listeners from day one with positive reviews and ranks to rank you higher from the get-go. Now, it's divided into 3 weeks. Week one is foundation, which we just covered earlier, about brainstorming together as to finding your objectives, about clarity, the topic, the audience, your ideal listener, format, length, and naming your podcast, mapping out your first 10 to 20 episodes, and the exact blueprint to have an endless stream of high quality guests on your show with exact script that to get them to say not just yes, but hell yeah, when can we do that? Week two is about anything tech related. Call it Tech Week. Again, gonna bring in a actual professionals to share with you, talk with you, answer any questions. We're gonna talk about what kind of microphone, what kind of headphones and all that softwares, tools that I recommend that I've been using for the past year. almost 15 months now on my own podcast, as well as the professional agency is going to share with you their tips and all that. In week three, it's all about launch so that we can have a wonderful, powerful launch strategy by the time your podcast is launched. So we brought in, I partnered with a professional in media and media publishing as well as in PR. So and they share with us how to get how to leverage the tremendous power of press releases, what to do to get interviewed by radio stations and TVs and so on and so forth. The point is so that by the time your podcast is live, what do we need to do to have listeners from day one and reviews right away from the get go? So that's what we talk about on week three. And yeah, so this is in a nutshell the program. A little bit of warning first what this challenge is not. It's not a course with, say, 25, 35 long, boring, an hour long videos because no one has time for that. It's not going to be okay. Here's your login. Here's your course material now. You're on your own. Good luck. Have a nice life. It's not going to be also a long list of complex and confusing homeworks on hours and hours of your already busy time to just to go through the course. And it's not going to be a massive class with, say, 500 other people because I've been in those programs and it's been everything been fun and nothing gets accomplished. So what this is about, it's a highly interactive masterclass with live teachings once a week, very small group, accountability group and support all the way. 3-bit, you will have daily tasks to do each day. You have one video, short video per day. And each day you have homework, and those homework can take you anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. And it's a small group because I want to work with the people. And even though it's a challenge, there's no pressure because you're not competing with the next person. You compete. The only competition is yourself. You do it at your own pace. Because I understand that we have other commitments. You have your life, your family, your business, your kids, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's at your own pace and all that. So and that's something that I found to be very helpful for people. And let's see. And also, as I mentioned, one thing I really love and I'm happy about the program, and Jaime later can attest to that, is that I have worked hard to surround myself with key experts, world class experts in key areas of podcasting, business, publishing, and marketing so they can come share the knowledge, their expertise, and the wisdom with us. As I said, I have a podcasting agency I partner with in Australia, Nick and Tim. I have a publisher that took the course with us in the first round, and she came and did a wonderful presentation and speech on what it takes to publish your own book. I learned a lot because I was under the impression that launching a book is expensive. And also the media pro came and gave a killer talk for the launch and so on and so forth. Now I'm looking for other key experts in the areas of copywriting as well as mindset. I'm talking with them to bringing in for the next round and so on and so forth. So again, one thing that I mentioned earlier is that I love and super happy that I've been able to bring world-class experts in key areas of podcasting, business, and publishing inside the program. I mentioned the Australian boys for the podcasting agency, Nick and Tim. They've been absolutely phenomenal and very kind to answer questions within the community. So yeah, the publisher that was also part of the program, Mary, that also shared with us how to publish your first or next book. We had a media pro did did a killer presentation on how to to tremendously use and leverage the power of media PR and how to be interviewed on radios and TVs and so on and so forth. And now I'm looking to add more world class experts in the areas of copywriting as well as mindset and all that. So keep an eye for that. So yeah, and one thing I really loved, and for me that's why I keep the program short for the small amount of people, was to have a high level of support. And that's one thing I loved about the program, is because we had a very supportive, very helpful, very loving community. Like each day when you guys had to post your homework, you were not getting any mean or rude comments. People were giving you criticism, feedback, but in a positive, constructive way. And that's one thing I loved, is because It's one thing for you guys to send your homework to me, but it's much more powerful to, instead of having just two pairs of eyes, to have like the eyes of 10 people, 15 people. This way you get 15 different angles that I might have missed and you might have missed as well. And because you have so many people that are giving you wonderful feedback, then you say, oh, I never thought about that. That's amazing. Thank you. And this is what I loved about the program. So everybody chips in to help each other. We have obviously a chat support within Facebook that we all, very active. We help, we ask questions, and I'm here from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep at night to answer your questions. And one thing I really and again, I'm not it's not me saying it, but it's also the feedback I get from the first group is that it has unparalleled support. And for example, when someone had a question, I would answer it right away. And also sometime I would just jump on a call with them one on one or a small group to answer the question. Like a couple of weeks, we had a call on Sunday nights to answer any question to do a review for week one to help clarify, help with anything regarding the progress of the content of the program, so forth. And this is something that I realized not only I wanted to provide for my student, but also I get a lot of great feedback from the students about that, and that's something I really enjoyed. So let's do a quick back breakdown of what this program entails, what it offers. So the 3-week launch your podcast challenge is a step-by-step blueprint with daily tasks in order to have your podcast launch and live by this time. It is a one weekly live teaching with Q&As as well as daily homeworks to do. That's going to take you about 30 to 45 minutes to do. We have a live kickoff call to brainstorm the foundation aspects of the podcast of your podcast. We have professional audio and video expert to come and answer any and all tech related questions in week 2. Professional media PR to help answer any and all question for launching and media exposure for week 3, as well as professional prolific publisher to help and answer any questions on publishing your book, as well as we have a very active and supportive chat group within the community, mapping out your first 10 to 20 episode with the exact ideal listeners and clients. Get exact script that I've used to get your exact ideal listeners and client not only to say yes, but hell yes, when can we do so? And the exact script to get warm referrals without asking for referrals. That's something key and that I've shared both on the podcast and within the first group, and that was something very valuable for them and for myself as well. So all of that, if you add up the value, it gets pretty high, and I could be charging a lot for that. I've seen other people charging two, three, four, even $5,000 for that, but for me, it's not about the money. Sure, we all need to make money, but let's do so in a way that's meaningful, purposeful, impactful. And my goal is to empower heart-centered entrepreneurs to find their voice, to become the leader and expert so that they can have a greater, not only exposure, but also impact out there. So I want to make it as a no-brainer. I want to make it as affordable, as accessible to the people that actually need it the most. I don't need the guy that's already making $1 million or the women. This is more for the people that are either starting or in a, you know, um, at a decent level in their business and just looking to get more exposure to podcasting. So for that, I made them a no-brainer offer, and that's the lowest I will ever offer this for. It's uh it's um it's a pre-launch offer, only $1,000 US for that, and it's only capped at 15 people because I only work with a small group of people to really work almost on a one-on-one basis to really help them launch their podcast and help them as much as I can because for me it's all about the impact and helping these people. So this is my offer to you guys. This is your best opportunity to launch your podcast with your handhelds every step of the way while doing good at the same time, and I will mention that in a moment, the impact them doing all of that, in a very interactive, very friendly, very fun way. So and again, because I'm talking about building a business with a heart, with a purpose, and with a mission, for me, I grew up in the south of France. Like every boy, most boys in Europe growing up, my dream, my goal was to become a professional football player. I wasn't good enough, but then back in 2015, I had an incredible offer to go work as a professional coach a football coach in China, and I've seen how sport, for me, the two greatest schools of life have been sports and traveling. And for me, I've seen how football can be a tremendous platform, not only to teach and educate, but also to give hope, to empower and inspire others, especially kids and teens, and a fun environment. So for every person that signs up for this 3 week Launch Your Podcast Challenge, I will be sponsoring a year of access to football, soccer for an underprivileged child in India, so that they can, through that, basically we're taking street kids outside from the street, allowing them to get access to education through sports, have one more meal a day at least. And if that can allow them to stay away from bad influences, from crime and all that, all the temptation that they are exposed to, and if we can get, instead of going to the wrong path, to go towards the path of doing good, sports and education, then that for me is the ultimate reward. So again, for every person that joins in, I'm going to be sponsoring a year of access for one teen or one child in India to get access to a year of access to football and sports. So again, you, through by joining this challenge, you will also be doing good without lifting the finger. And that's what we all about doing good. And this is going to be done through a wonderful, beautiful organization called B1G1, Buy One, Give One. And I've been honored to have both of the founders on my podcast not long ago. B1G1 was started in 2007, and so far they've been able to help and impact over 270 million people worldwide. So, beautiful organization. 100% of all proceeds go directly to the cause. It's not like any other charity where a big chunk goes to admin fees, which is basically paying the high salaries of executives. No, none of that here. 100% of the proceeds that are given to the organization go directly to the cause. And for this football, I'm super passionate about that, and also educating, inspiring, empowering kids. So that's something I'm very passionate, and I'm sure you guys also can relate to that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing good together while launching our podcast, because it's all about doing good. So this is something I'm very passionate about. And also at the end of the challenge, you will be receiving a beautiful certificate of completion, and that's something that the student in the first group were not expecting. And I just did as the last minute. I get an incredible, and again, it was not my idea. It was, I will give credit where credit is due. My good friend Barbara, I had a call with her, not a call, a chat on Facebook Messenger just the day before, and she said, "Wow, would be. I just did the course, and we got a certificate that was beautiful." I said, "Wow, that's amazing. Why don't I do that for my students for this group, because they were wonderful." And I did that, and I sent them one, and they were so happy. I still remember the reaction that Jaime you gave. You said, "Wow, that's so beautiful. I love that." And same thing with Barbara and all of that. So that's something extra touch for you guys. You can take the certificate, you can print it, you can put it on your, frame it in your office, in your wall, and because it's an achievement. Starting a podcast is not, it's not an easy task. While it's not difficult, it can be time consuming. And you going to this program and having your own certificate, that's beautiful. And honestly, the certificate is pretty good too. So again, my commitment, my goal, my promise to you is 100% success rate. I want to ensure that every single one of the students who enrolled for this challenge to have their podcast live and for them to be successful. And I will work with you until your podcast is launched. That's my 100% satisfaction guarantee to you and every single one of the students. And Jaime, you're the one that's present from the group in this community. You can attest to that. And this, I will do whatever I can to ensure that every person is successful, because my motto is 100% success rate for every single student that takes part into this and in everything I get involved with. So yeah, and the next class starts next Monday, January the 24th, and it's capped at 15 students. I would be honored to have a few of you from this wonderful community that Jaime has built over the years to help you find your voice, become the leader, the expert, the authority in your niche, in your field, in your business, so that you can have a much bigger visibility, exposure, and in return do good. Because I can feel that And I know for a fact that just like Jaime, everybody in his community is a heart-centered person who wants to build impactful businesses. So this is why I'm so excited to keep this a small group, and to also make you guys an offer that is really a no-brainer, so that it can help as many as, I mean, a few of you people, so that we can all find our voices to do good out there. And yeah, you can get in touch with me, book a free 30-minute brainstorming call, so we can see how podcasting would apply to your business, how would benefit your business. And if you want to get more information about the program, you can do so by going on my website, leaderswithavoice.com. So yeah, so this is my presentation. I hope you learned a few things from it. And I would be honored to see you in the program, in the class next Monday. If not, I'm still happy to get on a call with you guys to help you brainstorm, and we're still gonna be friends. So you can reach out to me on my Calendly, and I'm also always looking for inspiring guests who have powerful stories to come share the stories on my podcast, Leader with a Heart. So again, my Calendly is here. Jaime is going to share it in the group. Feel free to book a time with me to have a meet and greet and see how podcasting can benefit your business. And if you have a powerful story, I would be happy to invite you on my podcast to share your story. So yeah, let's work together to help you find your voice, that you can become the expert leader or authority in your field in order to have the greatest impact possible to your own podcast. So I'm excited. Podcasting changed my life, blessed in so many ways, and I know it can do it for you as well. So let's join forces and do it for you as well. So that's pretty much it for today's presentation. Let me see if you, I'm here now to answer any questions you might have. Jaime, brother.
Oh, thank you, Payment. All I can say is I'm very excited, and you know what? I printed out mine, and,
Oh wow.
and I showed it to
My
all my
God.
friends and relatives, and they get so excited. And I even getting messages from my friends that they want to know what I'm up to with all
Wow.
these things. You know, they were curious.
Can you
Uh,
put it again in the screen? I'm gonna take a picture because that is so wonderful. Wait, come back. How do I make sure that you're on the main screen? Wait. Gallery. Okay, wait. I want to take this as a picture. And later, can you ask one of your family to take a picture with of you with this holding it, and then post it, send it to
sure,
me and post it, because wow, it looks so beautiful. I'm even tempted of
it
printing one
is.
for myself, you know?
Oh, I believe me, I see this and encourage me to go on, to continue, to be inspiring to other people. And all of that because I took this program. Honestly, this is what came out of this program.
I'm so blessed,
You
brother.
know,
I'm so blessed.
yes.
Listen, you're
All
a
that.
gift. You're a gift. You're a gift. Awesome.
So yes, I definitely this is getting me into alignment with my purpose, my message, my voice, and I am so excited about it and to share it
Wow.
with others. Yes.
Listen, I'm so touched, man. I'm so touched. You're a gift, my friend. You're a gift.
Thanks, Payman.
Yay.
You're a gift also.
You know, for
You
me, you're probably one of the best Christmas gift I've had in the past few years, is getting to know you, becoming a friend with you, and having you as a student in my program. I can't wait till we actually meet in person and have this wonderful conversation in a few months, and hearing your growth, your development, your transformation. I can't wait for that, my friend. So wow, keep me
yes,
posted.
and the most beautiful thing about all this is you start becoming a new person. You're not
Absolutely.
the person you were yesterday.
Totally.
Today I am much different person than I was before. I was just in a corner in the shadow, and now I feel like there's light in me. You know, there's more to of me to shine. So
Wow.
I'm excited.
Amazing.
Thank you, Payman.
I'm honored. I'm blessed. Thank you, Jaime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. How about you, Deb? What do you think?
Oh, this is great. This is so exciting. And Jaime, it's so great to hear what you've gained from it. You know, I relate to all of the things you're saying. So, gosh, it's so exciting. I was just so happy to be here today. So blessed to be on this call with you. and hopefully I can be more visible eventually.
Absolutely.
So,
And it would be
thank
an honor for me to have you as part of our class next week. If you want, we can jump on a quick call, me and you, sometime this week to talk and see how podcasting can benefit your business. And I would be happy to do so, especially as a fellow Canadian and Albertan. I would be happy to work with you and help you, yeah, to have more visibility for you and your business and help your business, get more exposure and for you to be doing more good out there because it's all about building impactful businesses and doing good out there.
Yes, wow, sounds awesome.
All right. I'll share my Calendly with you. Let's connect first on Facebook. So I can connect with you and we can have a conversation there. So
Very good.
let me share. Let me get my wait. Where's my Calendly? Let me find my Calendly. Where is it? So here's my Calendly. Just click on that, Deb, and we can connect. And I'll send you also my Facebook. Where's my Facebook?
All right, I've got that. Thank you.
Very welcome. And here's my Facebook. Let's connect on Facebook today. And I would be delighted to jump on a quick call to get to know you a bit better and hear about your story, your business, and see how podcasting makes sense for you and your business.
Perfect.
So please do that today. Just book a time on my Calendly for sometime this week, and also add me on Facebook right now. And this is the best way to connect. And I'm super happy. Thank you for staying, even though this has been longer than usual. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. Jaime, thank you for inviting her. Thank you for inviting me on and opening the doors to your kingdom for me, brother. Super appreciate it. And yeah, so do you guys have any more questions or should we call this a day?
We can call it a day, but I just want to say thank you again, Payment, for helping me enhance my life and giving me those fundamental skills that I needed and feel more at ease with myself now that I'm able to move forward now. So this is exactly what I needed. And I'm looking forward to see what else the universe has for me.
Me too.
Yeah,
Can't
so
wait.
and I'm happy that Deb was able to join because Deb, what they said, if you're here, it's for a reason,
Yes.
and you're probably aligning with this, and this is your next step. So so thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah, it's
Absolutely.
been great. It's been great meeting both of you.
All right, guys.
Same
See
here.
you. Thank you. Looking forward to connecting with you, Deb, and talking with you. And Jaime will definitely talk soon, brother. Take care.
Yes, sir. We'll talk later. Have a
Yes.
great day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.